Hello you, welcome to Geekism and welcome back to Planet Coaster, sort of. I have to apologise a little bit, this isn't really a true Pinewood Hills episode. It was going to be, we were going to finish off the golf course, we haven't even got a golf course. We were going to finish off the haunted house, the exterior and the queue and everything. I was all set to do it, but the ThemeMaker's ToolKit come out, and one thing I said I wouldn't do was download Blender and try and make something, and I downloaded Blender and I tried to make something. So if you've been following me on Twitter or on the numerous Planet Coaster Discords, you'll see that I've been giving it a go, and whether or not I carry on through with it much, I don't know, but I've had a lot of fun with it actually. We've been doing some Twitch streaming as well of it, so oh, by the way, if you don't follow me on Twitch, we stream most weekdays over on Twitch at twitch.tv/geekism. Just come and check us out. We play a little bit of World of Warcraft, we play a little bit of Planco, a bit of everything really, but this week we've been in Blender. And I've actually had quite fun with it, and I thought I would document my my progress a little bit. So, I decided the first thing I want to do is a cash register, or a till, depending where you're from, I guess. There's various names for it. It's something I've wanted in the game for a long time, because a lot of the time we do build sort of fake shops and shop fronts and things like that. And one of the things we've always struggled a little bit with is a cash register. There is a wooden plank in the game. I'm gonna show you now, actually. There is a wooden plank in the game. Scenery. Oh no, it probably classed as building actually, wouldn't it? And there is a small wooden like little bracket. Let's have a look. Here it is somewhere. It's one of these ones. No, it isn't. It's the one that doesn't sit with those for some reason. Here, this one. Now, I figured out that if you turn this one up on its side like that. That kind of looks like a bit like an old styly till, alright? Especially if you sort of bring it out a little like that maybe, and make both of those pieces like a silvery colour. You can get something that looks a little bit like a till. So for the most part, or cash register, like I say, these are the ones I've been using. Something like that. It's not bad, a bit of a distance, it kind of does what it does, but one thing I thought would be really nice is to have one that's a bit more detailed. It has some buttons, it's got like a little chip and pin machine, a little place to print out and stuff like that. So I had a little play around in Blender, managed to get a couple of materials sorted, which don't really work correctly with ThemeMaker's ToolKit. Their sort of material process is slightly different, which we'll go into in a moment, but managed to get a little bit of a thing sorted and ended up with this. And I was quite happy with it actually, but as I carried on I realised that it was actually a bit too simple. I was very sort of making sure I was doing really good levels of tries and stuff and polygons and stuff to make sure that the pieces aren't too big. But one thing I realised quite early on that actually this does actually need quite a few more than it's currently got, because it doesn't really match the high level of detail that the game has. Some stuff in the game has quite low poly count actually, but then some stuff is a bit higher, and something like this with buttons on and stuff, they usually do have a bit of a higher count. So that's what we had, and then I started working on it again, having another go at it. This time, for instance, you'll see here's a good example here, which is on a crane thing there. You'll see here the button is it actually can. There is actually a button there, as opposed to it just being sort of painted on. So I wanted to make sure that we kind of got that level of detail on this new one. Let's have a look. I wonder how the till looks actually in a shop. I didn't even think to look at that, you know. Let's have a little look. I bet it's probably a lot more simple than well, yeah, it's really, really simple. But I think the game, they've got a little bit more developed in the game since that. The shops do a weird thing where they don't render in properly sometimes, which this one has done. Oh, here's a better one. There we go. So yeah, actually, theirs is pretty simple. It just has like a, it doesn't even have a lip actually. That's just using a map, isn't it? Okay, so they've actually gone pretty simple, so I'm actually toned mine down a little bit. Anyway, I've had another go, and I'm really happy with what I've done. I'll come and show you. It's over here in the Thunderer photos. Now, bear in mind, it is still just a plain model, but... And I think it might be a little large as well, just ever so slightly too large, but here we go, this is what we've got. So we've gone for a regular sort of cash register with a till drawer at the bottom that comes out, and then here we've got a little box, printing box. So here we're going to have, there's a piece of paper on it as well. If I show you properly, there you go. So we're going to have a receipt popping out of there. chip and pin machine there, and a display there for the price. So that's what we've got now. And I'm really quite happy with it, actually. I think the detail is pretty good. I think maybe we might have to come in and get rid of the buttons, because at the moment the buttons are individual things, and maybe that is a bit too over the top. Maybe it's better off just using a specular map or something to do that. Now, I might be throwing this terminology around a little bit incorrectly. That's the next plan. Okay, the next thing you have to do is to start getting some textures and other things in there. So the way the game works is it has, or the way the ThemeMaker's toolkit works, is it has 8 materials that you can have on it. All right, and the first one is what they call a base color, and a base color is basically your pattern. All right, your texture, your drawing. So on here you'll see. Mentioned this in the last video. He's been working on it more, and it's starting to get really good now. But the actual sort of loops of this, doop, 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 those, that's a texture. That's he's drawn those in Photoshop or whatever. Okay, and then here you'll see there's another texture, which is like a crinkly bit of stone or whatever. So that's the first one. You have that as a base color, but then also you'll notice the light kind of. These are really quite shiny, these things here. The light kind of bounces off those quite a lot. But then this actually starts to look a little bit more like actual stone because it diffuses the light a lot more. So that's the next thing you do. You have different sort of specular maps or like metalness, they're called, and shiny and things like that. Like you'll see on this paintbrush here, it's quite shiny. Whereas really, if this was made out of something like straw or whatever, it probably wouldn't be as shiny. So you have to go in and add those in. One of the only pieces I found so far that does this all correctly and perfectly is this awesome locker. Okay, this has been made by, it doesn't tell you who it's made by on here. Hold on, Gab, of course. I knew that. It's made by Gab. Really, really good. So you'll see here that they've got like the actual texture itself. I'm pretty sure is just like quite a plain texture, but then they've got these really great sort of specular maps on top of it, so that it reflects really nicely with the how it should, and you can see like thumbprints and stuff where people have opened it over the years and things like that. And also it's flexicolour as well. This is possibly, as simple as it is, the best thing I've seen so far. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you about today is that myself and Delay Designer, I mentioned the last episode talking about ThemeMaker's Toolkit that I was going to do some updates and show you stuff on the workshop that was coming out made by people who are much better than me. And Delay got in touch and she was like, oh listen, I was planning on doing that as well, and that's cool, but rather than us just sort of competing with each other, why don't we just do it together? So I told her about the idea that I was going to give any revenue to charity, which I have to be a little bit careful about because YouTube doesn't actually let you just give ad revenue to charity, but I'll say this much. I will donate to charity, and the amounts will vary depending on how well those videos do. I think that's how I have to kind of say it to be covered by YouTube. But either way, she thinks it's a great idea. So what we're probably going to do is do one on each other's channel every couple of weeks. So it'll be my go and then her go, my go and then her go. But look at this, real nice detail on here. We've got like a little key lock on it as well. A little door there to open it up, and it's completely flexicolour. Which I think is awesome. It's this really sort of awesome metal, and all these bits as well can be changed, which is really great. And then we can copy them. So me and the lady are going to start doing some proper videos where we look at this sort of stuff a bit more in detail. But so far, I think we've it's got the gizmo working as intended, which is great. I think we're really starting to see some good stuff on there now. I'm not going to go through too much today. All I wanted to really show you was that I apologise for no Pinewood Hills video, technically. It's just that my Planet Coaster time has been taken up this week by trying to figure out this, and it's not awful. There's a problem with the normals at the moment, so that it's almost like the lighting is inverted, and you'll see as you turn it around here, the lighting goes a bit funky. Look, it starts to like there. It shouldn't really be the difference between that and that and that. Now, we have found a fix for that, but I haven't done it on this item, so that's going to be fixed. But next job is to sort of texture it or whatever. Do you want to see the process of this? Like I say, check out twitch.tv/Geekism, because I'm doing a lot of it on there at the moment. Or join at Discord, because I post a lot of updates in there as well. But let me know, have you tried it? Has the ThemeMaker's Toolkit convinced you to start having a go? Have you downloaded Blender for free? Are you banging your head against the wall like so many of us are with things like specular maps and all that sort of thing, and the slightly strange system that Planco uses for mapping textures and things like that? Let me know how you're getting on with it. I would love to see some stuff. Normally YouTube doesn't allow links in the comments, but I'm going to veto links in this one. So if you built something in Steam Workshop, or even if you just got a picture of something you're trying, let me know. I'd love to see it. So yeah, there you go. That is what I've been working on this week, I'm afraid, and that is why the Ghost Train is unfinished. But that's going to be next week's project. Okay, I'm going to go because the novelty of this ThemeMaker's toolkit is very quickly wearing off for me because I just think it's a little bit over my comfort zone. So I'm coming back to the regular game, and we're going to box this all in, and we're going to have a gift shop, and then we're going to hopefully look at starting to wrap up everything we've done, so that we can start a new area here, our final area, which is going to be sort of like a janky, cheap adventure area. With 1 or 2 family coasters, a couple of adventure-style flats, and then really we're starting to work towards the end of Pinewood. Lots of detailing still to do on the outside and everything, still loads to do. Probably looking at a few more months at least, but we are definitely starting to finish off the lake really. And the whole original plan was to build around this lake, so it's this sort of final area here, and the manor house, which we will get back to doing as well. But yeah, we're getting there. But yeah, today I'm afraid we're going to zoom right in, because today was all about a crappy little till. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, apologies it's not the normal sort, but I've been really excited about this week, and I've really enjoyed it. The first time I've ever done anything in Blender like this. Well, first time I've ever done anything in Blender at all, so it's been a whole new learning curve for me, but I always like having to go at new things, and I've really enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you have, you can give us a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe. Any thoughts, queries, or suggestions, you can pop them down in the comments. If you fancy a chat, you can find me on Twitter. I'm at John T. Sparrow. If you'd like to join in with the Geekism community, you can do so over at our Geekism Discord server. You'll find the link for that in the description. Thank you very much to all of our patrons through their generous support at patreon.com/geekism. They make these videos possible, and also check out the affiliate links in the description. You get yourself some cheap games and help the channel as well. Especially today, if you watch this while it's out, it's Black Friday, so Instant Gaming are doing a huge Black Friday deal. So make sure you check out there, see if there's any decent games you've been waiting to pick up for a good price. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.